Hello everyone. I'm
Hello.
here with Ron LeGrand here. My name is Jesse and we've got a few questions. How you doing today, Ron?
Outstanding.
Good to hear it. So let's go ahead and get started with the first question. Lynn Streeter from Florida.
Hey, Lynn.
I am looking to buy a foreclosure. I plan to live in the home. Do I simply make an offer or do I have to pay back taxes or any other money to make to be owed?
Well, now, Lynn, that's a tough question to answer because you haven't told me where you intend to buy this foreclosure and from whom. And anytime you buy a foreclosure from any bank that owns it, you don't need to worry about back taxes. The clear title is going to be clear when it's delivered to you. You just need to worry about it getting an offer accepted and raising the money to buy the property. If you're buying it from a FSBO, of course you're going to check the title, and you don't have to pay back taxes at all, actually, until you sell it and cash out of it. If you don't intend to do that, then you will have to pay them before they go to a tax deed sale, if that is applicable. However, if there's a loan on the property, which was the only reason you'd be buying that out of foreclosure, the lender takes care of those taxes so they don't let them get that far behind. So I don't know how else to answer your question. It depends on who you're going to buy the foreclosure from. However, I got to tell you, if it's me, I'd rather buy a pretty house with owner financing or taking over the debt subject to, and don't have to worry about raising the cash. Just find a seller who'll put you in with little or nothing down, and we find dozens of them every time we go do an event. So I pay you to learn the terms business instead of trying to chase a foreclosure that you'll have to come up with a bunch of cash to buy.
All right, good answer. So the next one is Eric Mead from New York.
Eric?
If my attorney has his own contracts, do I still use my P&S agreement, or does the attorney have his own, and how do I obtain them from him?
Well, of course, your attorney has his own. They all do. And you obtained it from him by hiring him. But honestly, I would be cautious about letting him replace my purchase and sale, especially paragraph 2B. If he replaces my purchase and sale, I can live with that, but he needs to incorporate paragraph 2B into his, because it's one that lays out the terms, how you're going to pay the seller back, and just, it's so easy. I know I wrote it. Just check off what applies to that particular deal, and then pay attention to that last line in paragraph 2B as well. So 2B and paragraph 18 are the toughest parts of any contract. Paragraph 18 is the catch-all that puts stuff in that wasn't in 2B. A contract has to tell the attorney what the terms are so the attorney can prepare the documents. So that is your job to fill in those blanks. And if he gives you one of his, I'm sure it's not going to be as simple to use as mine. If he wants to take yours and add something to it, I'm fine with that. But I'm always cautious about letting the attorney replace my contracts. I got too many years in them.
All right, good deal. The next one, Mary Ann Nunez from California.
Mary Ann, I miss you, girl.
She's got a 3-part question, so put your thinking cap on.
All right.
All right, so first question. I know for a lease purchase from seller on the lease agreement for the price and term, in order to get the benefit of the principal pay down, can we use the phrase purchase price equals loan balance at the time of cash out closing?
Well, now, Mary Ann, that's pretty much what I told you to do at least 4 or 5 times. I don't know why you question me on that. Plus, that's right in your boot camp manual. Those words are right on your filled out lease option agreement. So the answer, of course, is yes. And that's the only way you'll get the benefit of it.
Good deal. Next question. Just want to make sure that is correct. If I want to record something just in case the seller decides to sell behind my back.
It's a memorandum of option.
Yep. Just
like in your book, you'll be using the California version. That's all it is. It's a piece of paper that the seller signs, and it does not state the terms, but it's a document that goes on public record that makes it clear to the rest of the world that there is an option on this property. Contact me, meaning you, if you have to have the details. And then you, of course, you decide whether you want to give them the details or not. That's all it is. Memorandum of option.
Very good, thank you. Last question from Mary Ann Nunez. Now, once I have a buyer, do I wait until deal is done at closing then I'd go to a notary and sign this form and have it recorded myself, and I don't need the seller to sign it or
Mary
even
Ann,
know
you're
about
killing
it.
me, girl. First of all, if you go into the house and you get a lease purchase agreement signed by the seller, there's nothing else for you to do until you install the tenant buyer in the house. If I catch you installing a tenant buyer in a house and not letting the attorney do it for you, I'm going to come all the way to California with a big club. And guess who I'm going to use it for? Your attorney handles all that stuff, not you. Don't you even think about doing it without one. Plus, your buyer pays the attorney's fee. Why wouldn't you? You can use the agreement, the lease option agreement on my Gold Club site. You send it to your attorney, let him review it. If he wants to fix it, fine. And then your attorney fills in the blanks, which you got to provide to him, like, how much and what's the seller, buyer's name and all that. And then your attorney will have the buyer sign whatever else he wants him to sign. That's all there is to it. Quit making it so complicated. So when you lease option it from the seller, there's nothing else for you to do except go find the tenant buyer and install them in the house. You don't even need to tell the seller at that time, because you're already done with the seller when you walk out of their house with a lease option agreement signed. And of course, you got to start making the payments whenever you decide to agree, but the seller does not have to approve your tenant buyer you put in your house.
All right, thank you.
I don't know if that was the question I answered, but it sounded good.
Well, it looks like you got everything covered for her, and that was all of your questions, actually.
Okay, so that was all three of her questions?
That was all 3 of her questions.
All right.
You got no more.
That's it?
That's it. That's all this week.
Well, golly, this was a short week. You guys didn't work me too hard this week. All right. Go out there and get some deals done. You're running out of year, folks. You're running out of year. Almost out of September. Let's get going. Still got a quarter left. Make it a big one. See you next week.